Excellent! Say what again?
1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is another one of those movies that's so ingrained in pop culture that pretty much everybody knows it. In my Wizard of Oz video, I stated that it was most likely every kid's first classic movie, and I think it's fair to say that Willy Wonka was probably their second. It has a somewhat similar legacy, leaving behind other film adaptations, parodies, arcade machines, and even a real-life brand of candy, although that's now discontinued.
Now that's a lot of nerds.
That being said, let's take a look back at Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Everyone knows the standard plot of the Willy Wonka story. Charlie Bucket is a kid from a family that's so poor that buying a candy bar is seen as an extreme luxury.
Grandpa, that money was for tobacco.
His luck turns around when he finds one of 5 golden tickets, granting him admission to tour the incredibly exclusive Wonka factory. The other children are picked off one by one through being rotten, spoiled, and greedy, but Charlie proves that he is kind and generous, ultimately winning complete ownership of the factory itself. There is a lot to love about this movie. It starts with one of the most satisfying opening credit sequences I've ever seen. There's just something about seeing all the candy being made. It's all played over that fantastic iconic score, really selling the atmosphere of wonder and imagination. The movie is also a musical, although the songs are kind of hit or miss. I find songs like Cheer Up Charlie and I Want It Now to be kind of lame.
Don't care how I want it now.
However, The Candyman is a classic, and Pure Imagination is one of the greatest film songs of all time.
If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it.
And of course, everybody gangsta till the Oompa Loompas start singing.
What are you at? Getting terribly fat.
Who do you play when your kid is a rat?
The movie also has some wonderful set design, making the most of what was available at the time. Wonka's factory is filled with all sorts of fun set pieces and illusions. You can't help but want to explore the main candy room and see what's behind every corner. They just don't seem to make movies like this anymore. Thanks to the focus on candy, the whole film is filled with great vibrant colors that make the visuals in even the most mundane scenes feel satisfying. Although, it never really tops the initial reveal of the candy room, and some parts of the factory are clearly just a hallway and aren't nearly as interesting. This was corrected in the 2005 Tim Burton film, and that's all I'm gonna say about that one. The cast is a delight. All the children do a great job filling their various roles. Charlie is kind and selfless, always willing to give even when he has nothing. All the other children are great at being brats. You don't want to see them succeed at all, so I would say the actors did a great job. Jack Albertson does a solid job as Grandpa Joe. He comes off as very genuine in his role.
When a loaf of bread looks like a banquet, I've no right buying tobacco.
Although, it really is messed up that the family is so poor a loaf of bread is considered a feast. But he's stayed in bed with the worst sleeping arrangement for 20 years. He hasn't even stood up.
Dad, in all the years you've been saying you're going to get out of that bed, I've yet to see you set foot on the floor.
But when it comes time to tour a chocolate factory, suddenly we can sing and dance.
Ecstasy.
He could have gotten up at any time.
I don't like the look of it.
Of course, the highlight of the whole movie is Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka himself. His dry and sarcastic tone is absolutely iconic and has become synonymous with the character.
What is this, Wonka? Some kind of fun house?
Why, having fun?
He's a joy to watch. Thanks to Wilder's famous acting style, he's able to be quiet, subtle, and passive in most scenes. He's dry and sarcastic, seemingly operating on a different plane than the rest of the cast.
Don't just stand there, do something!
Help. Police. Murder.
However, without warning, he explodes, becoming incredibly over the top in a storm of controlled insanity.
And they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing!
He makes Wonka such a great character. I would say that the movie would be nothing without Gene Wilder.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Now, it's a known fact that this movie is not very accurate to the book it's based on. Famously hated by the author, Roald Dahl, he called it sappy and sentimental. and hated the various plot changes. I'd like to mention that I do not care at all. The book is better is an argument that you'll always run into when talking about movies based on literature, but I'm not here to talk about the books. I'm judging these movies on how they are as movies, regardless of the source material. All I care about is if the movie is good or not, and this is a good movie. Willy Wonka is a classic film filled with creativity, heart, and boundless optimism, teaching the values of generosity, selflessness, and creativity. It may be a bit rough around the edges, but in the end, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory sure tastes sweet.
Don't forget what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he always wanted.
What happened?
He lived happily ever after.
I haven't done ecstasy in 20 years.